I'll tell you what, I'm so excited about my first guest today. Our guest today, we're really excited to have him. 20 years ago, the Sixers finished with the number one seed overall and went through the Indiana Pacers, the Toronto Raptors, the Milwaukee Bucks to make it all the way to the NBA Finals where they played the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. So without any further ado, let's go to the Barb's Harley-Davidson Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room the Lord of Lansdowne Alden High School, Pat Croce. What's up, Croce? You there, Croce? I think he's having a little trouble hooking up. We're on Twitter and Facebook today. Hey, Pat, you there?
I'm here, Billy. Good to see you, buddy.
What's up, Croce?
Great to be on your show. It's been a long time.
You know, I don't know if you had a chance to hear the segue, but I told the story about, like, it's been 8 years since I had you on my show, and you ran into Patty and Gary Holloway, and they said, call into the show, and you called in, and my producer didn't believe it was you.
Oh, I do remember that now, Billy. I do remember that.
So, Pat, how you been, man? I was shocked. I was unaware that you had came down with cancer, and of course, in Pat Croce fashion, you want to take the bull by the horns and rectify this problem and taking it, you know, and you're teaming up with the American Cancer Society. Tell us what you're doing now.
So, Billy, it's the end of last year. It's not COVID that gets me. I've been hiding out for the past 6 years. Probably the last radio station I was on was yours. I hide up here in Upper Bucks County at a place called Meditation Hill. It's my personal retreat. And I retired in end of 2014. My son and son-in-law take care of all of our business interests. And so I'm cool. I'm working in the woods, working in my workshop, still training. And it's the end of last year. It's about October. And I have this itch on my chest. And I think I got bit, but it's not going away. And then I said, Diane, look at this. And then she sees a rash on my right pec, about a $50 size, maybe a little bigger. So I call the dermatologist. She prescribes some ointment. Nothing. 2.5 weeks later, nothing. I think I had poison ivy, but I never have my shirt off in the woods. You know, there's all kinds of animals out there.
Critters out there.
So she said, come in for a biopsy. I said, okay. I come in, and I've had all kinds of basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinomas. You know those little things when, you know, half of me's Irish, the other half of me's Italian.
Oh,
the
boy.
Irish part gets the stuff cut out. The garlic part of me, don't much of that. So, you know, I go in, I get the biopsy, and I'm expecting a week later her to tell me nothing. It's 3 weeks later. She calls me up and says, Pat, you have cutaneous T-cell lymphoma.
Wow.
I said, what? I have cancer? She said, yes. Okay, what do I do about it? And then, you know, go to an oncologist, and they do a PET scan. And I had surgery the week later, and then I had radiation the month of December, and it's all gone. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't me, Billy. It was my body. You know, I got this really cool scar across my chest, you know, 60 stitches there. But
Wow.
other than that, but, you know, here's how I took it. I took it as a calling. I took it. It's my goal to help people awaken to the fact that they don't have to suffer. I do this spiritual sangha every Sunday for the past 2 years. I was using Zoom before Zoom was Zoom. I should have bought the stock.
Should have stock in it.
So I contacted the American Cancer Society, and I said, listen, I want to come off this mountain. I want to help any way I can. And they're like, what? And so they get together. We do another Zoom call, and they say they have this HEALED program. Health and energy through active living every day. It was research done in 2019 with 85 subjects. It showed that physical activity worked for cancer patients, dramatically worked. Cognitive behavior, attitude, fitness levels, everything. She said, but we don't have the money, and it stalled. There's no money for engagement for the second round of 400 patients. I said, okay, how much you need? She said, 2.5 million to start. I said, okay, I'll put up 10%. I'll raise the rest. And so that's how it got started.
That's
and
awesome.
So right now, if every one of your listeners goes to ACS, American Cancer Society, ACShealed.com, you can give a donation to whatever your heart fancies. and everyone gets a bracelet. It's a really cool black lava bead bracelet with one green bead, Billy.
Okay.
And that one green bead is the unity that we're all in this oneness together. And it stands for healing, harmony, and growth. And it's pretty cool. It's like a takeoff of Lance Armstrong's Livestrong rubber yellow band, but this is way cooler.
Well, I'm gonna get my band, and Croce, you're the perfect person to head this and eradicate cancer, because it's a pretty nasty thing. Now, Croce, we've been talking about you all morning because you are one of a kind. I told the story about when I was working at U.S. Airways. I snuck out, went home. I think it was you were climbing the bridge, Wall Women Bridge. Just correct me. What time did you do that? It was in the morning, correct?
It was in the morning.
Okay, so I leave U.S. Airways. I sneak out. You're not allowed to leave. I leave. I see I don't have a flight for another hour and 40 minutes. I run home to Collingswood. Now I got to hurry up back to get work my flight. And as I approach the bridge, there's all the cars backing up, and I'm like, "Oh no, not an accident!" And I see the helicopters flying all over the place, and I find out it was you holding traffic up.
Hey, Billy, let me tell you the backstory to that. Hi, Scooter. How are you, too, by the way?
Good, Croce. Good to see you, man.
So it's 2001 playoffs, and the first round is against the Pacers. And so I climbed that water tower in Manayunk, and I climbed up it, and I hung a Sixers flag, and on a stick, I put Iverson's jersey. And so I come down, and, it was a great fanfare and everything. And so buddy of mine, Aces, Angelo Borghese, works on the bridge. He says, Pat, you got to climb the bridge. I said, no freaking way. I'm not going up the bridge. He goes, come on, Pat. Come on up. We'll hang a sign. I said, no way. He goes, come on. I said, listen, if and when we make it to the finals, I'll climb it. So I owed him. I had to climb the bridge. And when we got up there, we hung that, I think it was 70-foot banner.
Five foot by 70 foot.
Oh, there you go. You got it. Go Sixers, beat LA. I'm telling you, you're right. The helicopters were facing at me like eyeball to eyeball. They're giving me the high sign. It was crazy. Philadelphia was crazy at that time. Again, you're right. 20 years ago, now the Sixers once again are seeded number 1, and they're back in the playoffs.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Pat, it is great to see you. And you know what? Your wife, Diane's always been your guru in a sense. She's always asking you, what are you chasing? Or do you have CDD, challenge deficit disorder? Because you're always trying to find ways to push the envelope to the next level. What drives you?
Well, Scooter, you were right. And that's one of the things that happened to me about 6 years ago. My mind cracked, I said, and then I went on this spiritual journey around the world to find out exactly what happened. But I can only say what drives me, to answer your question. I didn't know that what's next, that I could never be fulfilled. I thought fulfillment, happiness, peace, joy was outside in the universe, outside in the world. Anything temporary, how can that provide lasting happiness? So what happened is I learned to turn around inward. And yes, we all desire. The purpose of the universe is happiness, but we can't find it. And I'm sharing this with you and your listeners. You can't find it in the world. You have to go in, turn around and go into that true self that you are, and then bring that peace, love, and happiness back out to the world, and nothing can bring you down. And the first way to do that, Scooter and Billy, is to know that there's a voice in your head. And if you say, what voice? That one. I never knew that. I never knew that thing chattering in my mind was just thought patterns. I thought that was me. Now I know none of those thoughts are true. None of them are you, and let them flow through. Just let them go, and then you can use your mind as a servant, not allow it to be your master.
We're talking with Pat Croce. We're talking with Pat Croce, former team president of the Philadelphia 76ers. Pat, you started modest roots, man. Delaware County, the Lord of Lansdowne, Elton High School, Delaware County. And I remember working at U.S. Airways when I got hurt, I had to go to your first office over there at Sports Physical Therapy in Broomall.
That was the first of 40, Billy. You're right. And we had, as we got bigger, one in the Northeast, in the Northeast Philadelphia, we had the entire hull of an airplane in there so that U.S. Air and some of the other airways could get their work hardening programs. That's funny, going back.
And then, of course,
but you know what's great? So it's been 3 weeks now for Healed, ACS Healed. I do this gathering, a community gathering for anyone who comes on the website. And, you don't even have to make a donation. You can get the link, just sign up. But it's for cancer patients, their loved ones, caregivers, friends. My first one was 3 weeks ago, and my guest was Michael Jack Schmidt sharing his experience with melanoma. But I bring that up because he was bringing up that first Broomall site where he, Dr. J, Bobby Clark would all come in and work out at that same place that you came.
And I got my shirt. I survived Pratt Croce.
Oh, how about that?
It doesn't fit anymore, though. And by the way, the thoughts in Billy's head, they're scary.
Oh, that'd be real
They're extremely scary,
That'd be way scary.
Now,
I
So-
named the voice in my head, the mad Irishman from Braveheart? I think that would be Billy's.
Yeah, right.
Now,
Exactly.
Croce, I know you as a very competitive person. And I remember on several occasions, you, Tockett, Mellenby, Bobby Clark would challenge my brother Bobby and I, Tony Tomas, a couple of our friends, Eddie Keenan. I'll never forget one day, the humidity was through the roof, and it was like the middle of July, and we went to play basketball at the 15th Street basketball courts,
really?
and you guys were like out to kill us.
Billy, you and Bobby, I remember that Tockett was one of your Padres, but he was on our team.
Right.
Guys, I mean, they're throwing elbows. I mean, if they play,
Lots of elbows.
they didn't play basketball. They were playing hockey on the court.
Yeah, if they could wear elbow pads, they would have.
Right. Exactly. Pat, when Billy told me he was getting you on, which is great. You reminded me of something that I remember a couple of years ago. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Matthew McConaughey had a great speech after winning an Oscar. And he had said he needs three things in his life each day. One is something or someone to look up to. One is something to look forward to. And another one is someone to chase. What are those things for you? Because you've been so inspirational to so many, and Philly still misses you terribly.
Whoa. Three things.
That's tough.
I would say
Someone you look up to.
someone I look up to.
You got Croce stumped.
I got him
He
stumped.
does. He
He
does.
I got
stumped
him.
you, Croce.
I've been going inward so far, so much that to
You're
come
stuck
back out
inside?
is difficult.
Come on out, Pat.
What's the next one, Scooter?
Second one is something to look forward to. And then the last one is someone to chase.
Well, can the someone to chase be my dogs?
Yeah. Still chasing that could be. Well, it's like someone like, I think Matthew had said something like he looks up to God, number one. And then he said, he looks forward to his family every day. And I think someone to chase was himself. He wanted to see himself in 10 years from now. It was a pretty inspirational speech. It was a great speech after winning an Oscar.
Good. That's way deeper. I'd have to say someone to look up to is my wife, Diane. I mean, because that's someone here, right here.
I would say my dad.
Is your dad alive?
No, my father passed in 2001, but he was such a great guy. Always looked up to him.
Oh, that's
I didn't
good.
mean to throw you off there a little bit, but
No, that's a great question.
All right, so I
love not knowing, Scooter. When you go into
Right.
not knowing, that's most intimate. Most people will just throw up an answer. That not knowing, I could sit there for an hour.
right.
That's
you'll probably-
meditation.
After this interview, you're going to probably think about it.
Right.
Yeah, just chill.
All right, Croce. During your tenure with the Sixers, you did a lot of fun things. But one thing I remember, tell us about your experience going down to Avalon. You had the Sixers Day down there with the rookies bartending and whatnot. That was a pretty fun time down here at the Jersey Shore.
Oh, that was great. Dave Koski. That was Dave Koski's idea because he has a home in Avalon. He was our VP of marketing and just brilliant, just a marketing madman. And it was his idea to go down and create the first year. There wasn't that many because remember, we stunk.
Right.
The first year, like in 96, we weren't that good, but we did it anyway because we were just throwing out gasoline all over the community in community services. Really, just whether it was the Sixers Neighborhood Basketball League or bringing World Be Free to courts and, showing little mini camps to the kids. But that was one of them at Jake's, right?
Jack's.
Was it Jack's?
Jack's.
Jack's.
Place.
Jax.
Jackson Avenue. We do it every year. And I remember, Billy, after I was in that motorcycle accident in '99, I had not been out in public because I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and then I was in home in Ocean City, rehabbing there. And my first venture out into the public was at Jack's at that exact Sixers party. And so, I couldn't let anyone near my leg because it was dangling on. It wasn't really on too good at that time.
Hey,
so I remember it vividly and pleasantly.
Croce, I know you have your place in Ocean City. We're going to see you on the boardwalk this summer.
Oh yeah, you know what, Mike? I love walking the boardwalk in the summer. That to me, I just love it. But I'm real early.
Yeah.
I'm an early morning walker. I don't run anymore ever since that motorcycle accident, but I can walk, and I can do a 6-mile walk and you can see the sunrise on my way home, and I just see, I get to see this similar people year after year, and I just wave to them, and I just love the Ocean City boardwalk in the morning.
All right, Croce, we got about a minute left. Out of all the things that you've done with the Sixers, you're starting it, Broomall, what's the one thing that you're most proud of?
My children.
Okay. Very
My
good.
children. Yeah. And now, because they've given us 8 grandchildren, and they're just loving, caring individuals with a great son-in-law and daughter-in-law. And it's just wonderful that it can continue, that peace, love, and happiness spreads. I should tell you guys, I'm always one to say, when's the last time you did something for the first time? This Wednesday, the playoff game, I'm ringing the bell. I've never done that.
Scotty McKay, somebody just said that right before we brought you up.
Before we brought you up, I said to him,
awesome.
why won't they have Pat ring the bell? They should have him ring the bell. So that's great.
Oh,
all right, Pat.
That's great.
So, Scott O'Neill, the CEO, and Laura Price had asked me, and I said, one condition: I can have my 8 grandkids with me, and they'll be not out on the court, but they'll be there. So yeah, so it's been a long time since I stepped on that court.
Croce, man,
awesome.
I'm looking forward to the first game there. We're really excited. Listen, Pat, I really appreciate you coming on, sharing a little bit about what you're doing now with American Cancer Society Healed. It's ACShealed.com. Go to the website. Pat, thank you so much, and Godspeed, my friend.
Billy, great seeing you. Scooter, have a great day, guys.
There
You too,
he is.
man.
Pat Croce
Take care, bud.
on the Barb's Harley Davidson Sports Hotline.